Hey guys, welcome to Coffee, Tea, You and Me. This is Coach Powell coming to you live from my studio, my home studio right here in my basement here in Centerville, Virginia. And we are going to have a fantastic show today. Sorry for the late start. I got a little caught up with some of the technical details that I got to make sure I put in place today. And I wanted to make sure everything is working well for you guys. So we're going to have a great show today. Today is the first of a series of shows that we're going to be putting together about encouragement. And this is literally one of the three pillars of the Round Table. The Round Table is an organization that my friend, my buddy, my partner, Darren, and I created many years ago. And we created this thing to be the answer to some of the problems that we were experiencing with some of the larger, more reputable networking organizations. And we realized that people were just kind of thrown in with the wolves and trying to figure out, how to do this networking thing and how to make it work. And literally, people were being taken advantage of. They were taking advantage of each other, and they were allowing others to be taken advantage of. And it's because generally they did not understand the skill set they needed to have in order to enter the networking framework correctly. And so we began to study that. We began to put together programs and processes and organize different things. And now we've got tons of content and tons of learning materials that are available to the members of the Roundtable. I suggest, if you don't know very much about the Roundtable, go on Meetup and download some of our information. I'll try to make sure I post that into the chat as we continue to move on today, because you need to know about this. This is one of the most powerful organizations I think I've ever seen. I have to say that I'm prideful in the fact that we put it together. We try to put it together with these core principles in mind. Here are the principles: collaboration, encouragement, and communication. So what we're going to be talking about today is encouragement. But over the last few weeks, if you've been following what we've been doing, we've been talking about collaboration. So we spent almost 7 weeks talking about collaboration, all the different permutations and iterations of everything you need to know how to be better at collaborating, creating a team efforts, and making sure that things are working well. People are working together, and people are working intelligently and using each other's talents to the best of their ability, and all that kind of stuff. And guess what, though? In order to really collaborate really well, you got to get this second principle in. And that's what we're going to be talking about for the next couple of weeks. I don't know how long it's going to take us to get through everything, because I'm still creating more content as I go through this. But understand, without encouragement, collaboration is much more difficult. If collaboration is the pillar to success, if it's everything that you need to do whenever people are involved, right? It's important that you learn how to do this well. And if you understand how to encourage people, how to move them along, how to create opportunities for them, how to help them feel good about what they're doing and how to provide a sense of wellness and balance and the thought that everything is going to be all right. In order for you to do that really well with people and learn how to do that really well, there's a certain kind of person that you have to be. There's a certain kind of skills that you have to have, and an ability to communicate, an ability to empathize, an ability to understand at a high level. You've just got to be there if you're going to learn how to really, really encourage others. And if you're going to learn how to find the encouragement that you need to accomplish the things that are amazing in your life and in your business. So that's what we're going to talk about for the next couple of weeks. And I hope you're going to hang in there with me. I hope you'll enjoy this series. I encourage you, if you haven't already, follow this thing on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook. Give me the thumbs up, join it, process it in every possible way you possibly can, or any other. Make sure that you share it, because we don't want you to keep us a secret. We want to make sure that, the people that get a chance to play as much as possible. If you have a business, if you have a thought process, if you have something that you want to say, put it in the chat. We are going to be an open and friendly environment for people to get along, for people to make opportunities happen for one another, and to create some things. In fact, I'm going to put some stuff in the chat right now. What I'm going to put in the chat right now is literally one of the greatest opportunities I'm going to share with anybody. So if you're watching this either for the first time live, or you're watching it in a recording session, you're going to be able to chance to access this ticket price to our virtual conference. Now, I'm assuming that this is going to sell out. It's going to sell out real quick, and so I need you to get on it right away. If you're thinking about going, just check out that link, and you'll be able to open up your ticket, and you'll be able to look and see if this is something that you want to get involved in, do more with, whatever you want. It's going to be an opportunity for you to be there. I need your help, not just in purchasing tickets, but I need your help in helping me identify and find some of the speakers that you think are impressive in the major category and the areas of study that we're going to be representing in this conference. It's a nice little small business conference. The whole goal is to create an intimate environment where entrepreneurs and business leaders can come together and talk about the 5 key ideas that are there, very, very important ideas. Some of the exciting stuff are going to be talking about what we're going to do with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, and how that might help small businesses. We want to talk about that. We want to talk about what's going on with the CHIPS Act and how that might promote opportunities for entrepreneurs and business leaders to get involved with the manufacturing sector in ways that they may not have, or maybe they have ways, but now we're bringing that back home to America. Great opportunities for talking about that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about alternative financing opportunities for your small business and many other things. If you know people who are great and can sit on the panels, because we don't want to really have any keynote presentations, so to speak, but we want to definitely make sure that we have panels that are live, that are open. So you don't have to be a professional speaker, you don't have to be a professional presenter. All you got to do is sit on the panel. If you're interested in, or somebody who might be interested, all you have to do is sit on the panel. We're gonna have tons of benefits for them. We're gonna have tons of opportunities for them to grow, to be exposed, to get tickets. All kinds of good stuff is going to be available for those who are selected to be on the panel. And all the panels are open. So if you're really interested, take a look at the link, take a look at, what are the categories are. And if you know people who might be useful in those categories, might really benefit from it, definitely share them with me. My number is scrolling across the screen right now. So you'll be able to find me, be able to get the information to the right people, and off we go. Today, we're talking about encouragement. And before we do that, we always make sure that we have our little branding moment. So I want to make sure I put that information out there for you guys. I love that little video. Kind of helps me get an intro, gets me into the Coach Powell mindset, right? How do we get there? How do we get things started? How do we get the juices and flowing, and everything is looking good? Okay, so we're going to get started talking about encouragement. And before we even set off talking about the 3 pillars of encouragement, I want to tell you guys a story. And the story begins, way back in the early 1800s, when a gentleman by the name of Spius Paul was born. Spius was born around 1860, somewhere around in there, in that area, in mid 1800s, by the 1860s, just after slavery. And he was a former slave himself as an infant, but his parents was able to move throughout that situation in Southern Virginia. And for some reason, he was able to get himself a piece of land. As he got older, he was able to go to school, learn to read, get a piece of land, and it looks like the deal he made in order for him to occupy the land, the territory where he got, it was not perfect land, by the way, was that he would be a school teacher in the area. And so he became the first school teacher in Greensville County, Virginia, for African-American children who had just recently, in fact, just the African-American community, period. And the school that he built was literally paid for with a co-grant from the local community as well as the Sears School. And so what's important about that is hundreds of these schools were built all over the South. And Spies found himself in a position to be the only teacher in Greensville County and to teach the young people, especially in that part of the county called Zion, a community, who had never learned to read or anything like that. And a couple things happened. Of course, he taught Sunday school. Of course, he taught real school. He also ran his farm. But every week when he would go to the local general store to get whatever postings had been sent to him, whatever mails had been sent to him, because that's where everybody had to go. The general store also served as the post office. They had to go and get that information. He would show up at a certain time every week. And every week he would sit down and he would read the newspaper and the Farmer's Almanac to anybody who was interested in learning about what was going on in the Farmer's Almanac or what was going on in the world. So he became not just the teacher of the community, but the news reporter of the community, not just the deacon in the community, but a learned professional, the only learned professional. And this traversed the color barrier. So, he had people that he taught that were not just African-American, but also, everybody else kind of came to him because very few people knew how to read in Southern Virginia at the time. So here he was teaching people how to read, and he reading to people, sharing information with them, becoming a pillar of source of the community. Now, what does it have to do with encouragement? Well, it turns out that by sharing information about what was going on in the world, and what was going on in the farming community for everybody who was a farmer, right? They were able to understand what to do to prepare themselves for the seasons that were coming, to understand the dynamics of crop rotation, to understand what they might be willing to do and trade and help each other do along the way. And the whole community depended on this information being shared widely, because there was no other way to share the information, and there's only one source of there's only one person that could read. That person, Spies Paul Powell Sr., happened to be my great-grandfather. Now, what's very important about that story is that when you think about what encouragement means, right? Encouragement means providing one of three things, if not all three things. The first thing encouragement provides individuals is support. All right? Support is critically important. The second thing that you're going to find when you provide somebody encouragement is possibly confidence. And the last thing that you're going to provide somebody when it comes to encouragement is hope. Support, confidence, and hope. So what does this look like? When someone says, I support you, what are they really saying? Are they going to do something to enable you financially or emotionally or socially? Are they going to shore up a weakness? Or are they going to elevate a strength? Or are they going to create some environment by which the obstacles that you might face are no longer an obstacle, or they're less of an obstacle? What's going to really happen for you to feel like you're supported? Because when you feel like you're supported, you're going to feel like your load is lifted. You're going to feel like your way is made a little bit easier. The journey that you're on is not going to be as arduous as if you didn't, or when you did not have the support. Supported is an amazing, amazing concept, an idea. And the thing about support I want you to kind of recognize is that we all need it. We all need support, and we all need support of some kind all the time. There is no time when we don't need support. But we have to be very careful about how we get our support and where we get our support. I'm sure many of you all have dealt with people in your lives, in your teams, in your networks, stakeholders, maybe people that are supposedly in your corner, who felt like to you they were more of a burden than they were a help to your journey or whatever it is that you're trying to do. And I understand how that can happen. So if you are out there and you want to share, a situation where, just give me a yes, amen, whatever. Let me know if you ever felt that way. If you ever felt like, people who say they're supposed to be for you are not really for you, they're not really with you. Just say yes or no if you ever felt that in the chat. Put that information in the chat. I'd like to know how many of you have felt that way. Even if you're watching this later on and you are watching this recording, put it in the chat. I really want to understand that. How many of you have felt that way? Because I know many of us do. Many of us feel like, we're not getting what we need from the government. We're not getting what we need from our families. We're not getting what we need from the environment that we're in. We're not getting what we need. And so not getting what we need makes everything that we're going to do that much harder. And because we don't have the support. But now, if you can identify the places and the spaces where you would really appreciate some kind of support, and usually support means resources, right? And I always think of resources as time, talent, or treasure. I call it the T3 resources: time, talent, and treasure. Time is something that people can share and give you because they have expertise, or they have just a space. They have some ability to give up some of the time that they would be doing something else and to give that time to you, right? That's time. Talent is the gift of their abilities, the gift of their true expertise. Whatever they may manage to share with you. Because again, if you share your time and your talent with somebody, all of a sudden you've increased their value by your abilities and your talent, your capabilities, so to speak, in terms of what you shared with them. Whether you did it for a fee or no fee, you've increased the value that they've received in life because you've given them your time and your talent, all right, your expertise. The next thing you need to share, you can share with other people, is treasure. That's anything of value that you have, because anything of value that you have can be traded. Anything of value that you have can be leveraged. Time, talent, treasure. So think about it. It might be money. It might be an investment that you make in somebody's business. It might be a big purchase that you make. All right. It could be anything whether you're trading something of value for something of value, right? So it's treasure, time, talent, treasure. These are things you have to offer. These are things that can be leveraged to create whatever you need to have. So whenever you think about it, who's going to give you these things? Who's going to do these things for you, right? There's going to be people who you trust, right? There's going to be people who are your advisors, people who are your counselors, people who are your coaches, people who are your stakeholders, your investors. There's your friends, your associates, other members of your team, your organization. They're all going to be willing to trade time, talent, and treasure on your behalf to help you accomplish the things you have that you need to do to give you the support that you need, right? If you don't have these things, if you don't have the support, nor you have the networks in order to help you create the support, 9 times out of 10, you're out there all by yourself, you're alone. And it's a hard thing to do. Whatever you're trying to do that's great or amazing or useful or meaningful, or whatever you're trying to do without support, it is so much more difficult for you to do than if you had the support that you need. So it's important that you get the support. Here's what Amy Poehler says about support. She says, I want to be around people that do things. I don't want to be around people anymore that judge or talk about what people do. I want to be around people that dream and support and do things, right? If you find yourself being supported by people who don't do very much, then how are they supporting you? Because supporting is an active thing, right? It requires a doing. It requires a giving, a sharing of time, talent, or treasure. Sometimes you're sharing your connections. Again, that's a part of your treasure. Sometimes you're sharing the space that you have, the time that you have, right? Sometimes you're sharing the gifts, the capabilities, the abilities, the talent that you have. These are all things that are very, very important to the notion of support. But then let's just say somebody needs encouragement from you and you're not really ready to give them the support that they really need, but you might be willing to help them with their confidence. How do you do that? And why does that matter? Because I told you before, encouragement is about support, it's about confidence, it's about hope. Support is pretty tangible, pretty evident that you're giving somebody some support. But how do you help somebody increase their confidence? How do you help them to grow? Think about it. A part of you being confident in yourself is knowing that you can trust yourself, right? We call this self-trust. Your intuitive instinct, right? You being able to know for yourself, by yourself, that you have integrity, that you have the ability to trust yourself, right? You have the ability to say to yourself, self, I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. And then you can honor what you say to yourself, which means you have integrity, which means you can trust yourself. You are trustworthy to yourself. Now, the next level of trustworthiness and the confidence that you need to have is you need to be able to trust, and others need to be able to trust in you, and you need to be able to trust in them. So all confidence starts with the ability to trust yourself, right? Trust your own abilities, trust your own capabilities, trust your own talents, trust your own judgment, decision making, all the things that make you move forward, everything that you need to do to help you grow and become the person that you were intended to be is all about developing that confidence, that self-trust, that you can do it, you will do it, right? So think about that. If your confidence is built on your abilities and the abilities of others, on the willingness for people to exercise those abilities in a way that's going to be meaningful and powerful and useful, how does one know that what you think is an ability is a real ability? How do you know? Well, it's a couple things you could do, right? People who catch you practicing what you do, doing what you do, and then saying to you, I like that. I think that's valuable. That has meaning. I'm really into it. Whatever you're doing, do it better. Do more. Do more. Keep doing more. I have hopes for you. You know, when you can see somebody in their element doing the things that they need to do, and you remind them of how special that it is and how great it is, you know what that does for them? It elevates their confidence immediately. Assuming there is that, therefore, that they trust you. Because when there's trust involved with a compliment or some type of praise, then that trust and praise, that confidence, that compliment is met with confidence. It helps you grow your confidence. You become more resolved. You become better able to see yourself functioning at a high level in whatever it is that someone may be trusting you to do. This is critically important to all of our success. Mr. Bernard Baruch says this about confidence. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Think about that. Where can you be who you are and say what you feel? And get not just understanding, but praise and acclaim and reward, social reward for what you bring to the table. Because those are the instances where you should have the greatest amount of confidence. Those are the instances in which you should have the greatest amount of joy and satisfaction. It shouldn't be an accident. Now, every time I will understand the first couple times you might share something and receive a meaningful accolade or applause or whatever that is. I'm sure that might catch you a little bit off guard because maybe you didn't plan to receive all the love and all the attention and all the praise that you're receiving. I get that. But after you do something again and again and again, and you're still getting those kinds of results, especially in different kinds of audiences, you got to recognize that people are recognizing your talent. They're recognizing your gift. They're recognizing something special that you have to offer that they think highly of. They think it's amazing. They think it's wonderful. It's so important that you find your tribe, that you find people who can see you doing the thing that you do and give you the shout outs and give you the praise and give you the accolades and give you the feedback that you need to have that will validate this for you. Not just people that, it's different than people that you want to support you. It's a different kind of support. But the people that will help you elevate your confidence are the kinds of people who will just shower you with attention. They will shower you with praise, and they will help you understand that what you're bringing to the table is useful, is meaningful, is significant. A lot of people want to do these things. A lot of people want to be relevant. They want to be special. They want to do those things that help them anchor them in their community, just like my great-grandfather. You know, he didn't have to sit down and read the paper and read the almanac to people every week. He had a school to function that he had to get up and run and keep up and running, right? He had a farm that he had to take care of, and 8 children. So think about that. You know, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of effort, you know, for a person who's a former slave, you know, making sure that everybody had an opportunity to grow and share all that kind of stuff. That was a big responsibility he took on, but he did it week in and week out. Didn't waver. Like rain, snow, sleet, or hail, the postman always delivered, right? So think about that. How much confidence can they have knowing that he was going to be there for them? He was going to be there to help them know what was coming down the pike, what was in the newspaper, what people were saying about, what people were talking about, what society and culture, what they were doing, what the almanac said was going to happen with the weather or the seeds or the planning process. He needed to know that. They needed to know that kind of stuff. They need to be familiar with it. And so, yeah, sometimes he'd read the same passages from the Farmer's Almanac over and over and over and over again, so people understood that this was, and make sure the message was clear. He had to interpret to a certain degree what was going on. And he was trusted to do this within the community. So as a result, they elevated him. They ended up naming the school after him. It was the Powell School in Greensville, Virginia. Look it up. Incredibly useful thing. When you can want to give somebody confidence, when you help them want to develop their confidence, you got to do stuff like tell them the truth. You got to do stuff like help them find their place where they can shine. And then when they find that place to shine and they're shining, let them know they're shining. Give them their flowers while they live. One of the things we created in the roundtable, we created a program called the RAP Report. The RAP Report stands for Respect, Affection, and Praise. And every week, our members are to choose one person when they will shower that one person with the kind of respect, affection, and praise that they think is deserving of that person's efforts to do whatever that person has decided to do, either for them or for someone else, or they try to catch them in a moment of do-gooding, so to speak. And then they go tell everybody else, I caught this person doing something wonderful. This is what I saw. This is what happened. This is why it was wonderful. This is why I'm so thankful that they're a part of the group or part of the team. I want you to think about that. What happens when you've done something that you would normally do for someone else. And they're so appreciative of it, they'll let you know exactly what it meant to them and what they were able to accomplish and do because of your gift, of your support and your development, whatever it is that you shared with them, how that helped them, in what way that helped them. How would you think they feel about their self-concept and their self-esteem when that happens week after week after week after week after week after week, right? And what ends up happening, and this happens, I've seen this happen to members, is every week they're trying to make sure they do something good for somebody else, because they know that when the rap report time comes around, it's going to be like, okay, somebody's going to say something nice about them that they accomplished and they did. And the more that happens, the more confidence they have, but also the more credibility they have within the group, within the team. Try it in your organization. Try the rap report. If you want to get a copy of the rap report, hit me up with a text message or a direct message somewhere, and I'll make sure you get a copy of it so that you can see it for yourself. But it's an incredibly important program that I think that, I like to share it with anybody who's interested again. And it's the rap report. It's called the rap report. And the rap report comes with a system called the rap approach, right? How do you develop the kind of confidence that you have to develop within the members of your team? How do you give them the respect, the affection, and the praise that they need in order to feel encouraged, in order to do the things they need to do? How do you build their confidence with the rap approach? It's a great process. Okay, let's say you don't want to necessarily pour so much energy and effort into somebody developing their confidence. You don't want to listen to them that much to figure out what makes them tick and what they're really good at, and you don't want to give them the feedback that's gonna share them, but you still want to try to encourage them. But you got one more opportunity left in the tank. Okay, you didn't want to give them the support, you didn't want to give them the confidence. You got one more opportunity, and that opportunity is hope. I happen to think it's the most powerful opportunity of them all. Because when you give somebody hope, what you're doing is you are providing to them a vision, a powerful vision of success that's in their future, that's in an expectation for something that's going to happen, not maybe going to happen, right? Something that you know and they know is going to happen. Because if they don't have the actual transfer of the knowledge of the fact that the thing is going to happen, there's not really good hope. Hope is bankable. Hope is something that you can say, I got it. I know what's going to happen. I'm looking forward to it. I'm expecting it. Any day now, there's going to be delivery of the thing that I'm hopeful of. I'm going to share some of my thoughts with you about what hope is, but I want to share with a couple quotes. One from Bill Keane and one from the Bible. Let me share what Bill Keane has to say. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift of God, which is why we call it the present. You see, Keane, in his understanding of hope, is suggesting that, yeah, you can think about history. That's yesterday's news, right? And you can think about the future. That we can't really know until we get there. But the greatest gift that you are given today is today. It's the present. The present is a present, and it's a gift of God. So if you learn to appreciate the present, it stands to reason that the next day you live, you're going to get another present, and the next day another present, and every day hereafter is going to be a day of new, better, different presents. And all you have to do with these presents, right, is be grateful. All you have to do with these presents is to acknowledge them for the gift that they truly are. Even if it's a horrible day, it is a day. It's a new day. It's an extra day that you did not have to have. One of my favorite aunties, she's actually a cousin, but I'll never forget. She used to always say, and she still does always say this. If you ask her how she's doing, she'll say, another day on the right side of the dirt. Now, That's only a joke because she actually bought and owned a funeral home. And although she didn't practice mortuary science, she did own a funeral service business. And so when she would say, I'm another day on the right side of the dirt, but that was hilarious. She's a hilarious character anyway. But it's important for you to know that hope is ever present. It's in the moment, and you can expect that the next moment will deliver another present. Guaranteed. Here's what the Bible says. In Hebrews 11, the Bible says, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. The assurance of hope, the conviction of things not seen is such an important phrase, because where there's hope, there's also faith and belief that the next thing, the next moment could be amazing, will be special, will be unique, will be there. As long as you have breath, there's going to be a next moment, right? There's going to be something to hope for. And you got to think about that. Don't take it for granted, because it doesn't have to happen. Don't look it in the face and go, oh, well, that's supposed to happen. Yeah, it's supposed to happen, but it doesn't have to happen. That's the thing. And if you understand that, then you can live life abundantly. You can really enjoy every moment that there is for you to enjoy, and not grimace and worry about the stuff that you can't control, the stuff that you can't get away from. Hope is this infectious. When you have it, when you're a happy, joyous person and you're really just expressing and experiencing what life has to offer, on every given day, people fall in love with you. People want to be around you. You become that person that people be around, that we talked about in the support section, right? I'm that person, because not only are you delivering hope, you're hopeful. You're hopeful, and so you're delivering hope. You can't deliver hope if you're not hopeful. You're also able to see stuff. I mean, see people in their talent, see people in their gift, and see people in their calling, and be able to say, oh, wow, I see what you're doing there. I see what you did there. I love that. That's amazing. Do more of it. I can see you taking this to the next level. And if you do it to this level, I think you'll be able to have these things. That's how you encourage people. That's how you give them hope. Especially if something that you've already done and you've already seen happen somewhere before, you could tell them, oh, I saw this happen before, somebody else did this, and because of that, they were able to do this. Now you're creating an expectation for them, helping them create an expectation for themselves that maybe they couldn't see for themselves before you mentioned the thing that you mentioned. Whatever the idea, concept, phrase, whatever it is that you mentioned, that gives them that hope, that gives them an expectation. If you deliver that hope along with the support, along with the confidence, now you have fully encouraged someone else. And it's so important. It's so important that we encourage one another. It's so important that we take the time to understand what we need to do and say and be for one another, so that we can always be encouraging to one another. Because if we take the time to do this well, we not only improve our whole world, but we create opportunities for people to never be discouraged. Think about that. How many times are you discouraged? How many times are you disappointed? How many times do you feel the setback? How many times do you feel weak? What if you had the right people around you all the time that were encouraging you? What could that do for you? What could it have done for you when you were 7 or 10 or 15 or 40 or even 70? It's never too late to encourage. It's never too late to be encouraging. It's never too late to encourage others. It's never too late to allow others to encourage you. It is never too late. So do it. Go about the business of doing it. Follow this talk over the next couple of weeks, and we're going to go through tons of exercises, tons of ideas, concepts, on ways that you can become a better leader and encourage others, ways that you can become a better team member and be encouraged by others and encourage others, and be a better person, all through encouragement. I wish the greatest gift of life, success, and happiness to all of you as you move forward in your businesses, as you move forward in your life, as you move forward in every endeavor that you can. I hope you feel encouraged. I know I feel encouraged by you and your participation. If you feel like you've learned something from it, finally, that's great. Put that in the chat. I want to hear more from you. I want to hear what you've gotten out of today's talk. I want to hear what you've experienced that is useful to you. And over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be posting a lot of free content, a lot of information that I'm going to share with you guys. First and foremost, before I share it with the world, I'm going to be sharing it with the people who are paying attention to what we're putting here for Coach Powell Training Development. I hope you have a great time. I see my girl Marvette out there. Love to see you, Marvette. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for coming in. I know you're out there on LinkedIn. It's a great space. If you want to, you can watch this on YouTube. You can watch it on Facebook. You can watch it on LinkedIn. If you have a business, please post your information. Anything you want to post about your business, what you got coming up. I posted the virtual ticket that I have here coming up online. It's going to be really, really nice. Conference coming up on the 1st of October. It's really, really inexpensive right now. As soon as I get like the first couple hundred tickets sold, I gotta boost the price because I want to make sure this is still an intimate environment. So definitely get your ticket now. Don't wait. Don't wait, because if you get your ticket now, you're locking it in. And for those of you, by the way, those of you listening, get your ticket next couple of days. I'm going to give you an extra ticket. So think about that. Not only are you paying for you get 2 for 1. So you might be able to bring a friend or bring an associate and that kind of stuff. So go ahead and get your ticket, and I'll know that you got those. Everybody who got your tickets, the first couple of tickets, I'm going to make sure I get them the second ticket for free. So handle that business as soon as you can. I love to see you guys on October 1st. It's going to be a half-day conference. It's going to be full of great information, great people, excellent presenters, and excellent panelists. There's not going to be any presentations, not going to be any boring presentations, no death by PowerPoint. This is going to be all panelists and all Q&A, and it's going to be lots of discussion and lots of information sharing. So if you want to participate, if you want to sponsor, if you want to get involved, definitely let me know. My information is scrolling across the screen right now, so there is no reason why you can't follow me or get any of the information. And I posted the conference information, Marvette. Thanks for asking. It's on YouTube and on Facebook. I have to separately post it on LinkedIn because I won't do without this, but I'll definitely post it on the LinkedIn post so you can see that as well. I really appreciate your question. That really makes sense. Unfortunately, LinkedIn doesn't allow you to post from a streaming platform and show up there. So I have to go in and post to that one separately. But I will do that for you. Thank you so very much for giving me that question, Marvette. Okay, guys, it's 3:48. I promised I'd call it close in a couple of minutes, and so I'm going to shut it down. If anybody has any questions about encouragement in any way, shape, or form, throw it in the chat. If I can't answer it in this session, I'll answer it the next session. But you might be surprised who has an answer for you right now. So put that information in the chat. If you have information about your business that you want to put in the chat, put it in the chat. Again, this is open for business, open for anybody. I don't want anybody to feel like they can't participate, they can't play, can't feel like this is not about being left out. This is about inclusion. This is about getting as many people involved and getting as many people active and encouraged as possible. So over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be posting lots of stuff out there for you guys. Lots of content to download, lots of things to share, and I want you to be there with me every Friday, 3 o'clock. We're gonna do the same thing. Next week we'll probably start having some panelists and some friends come in to talk about their experience with encouragement and how they've used it. My guest coaches, I call my rock star coaches, they'll be coming in to share information about that as well as we continue this series. And so I'm looking forward to some great conversation and some great opportunities with you guys. Have a great day. Have a blessed day and be encouraged. Thank you very much.